Good morning, students, and good afternoon. Today we're going to have our lesson on more about adding and subtracting fractions. And what I want us to look at now is we're going to have our do now, which talks about kindness. And I think that's just a great subject. Our objective today will be to continue adding and subtracting fractions. But some of our problems will have more than two numbers, so that'll be our challenge for today. Our essential question asks, what steps should I take when I add two or more fractions together? And our assignment will be to watch the October 29th video, and we have 2 pages of problems today assigned. And these are interesting problems. They're called self-checking, and I'll show you how that works. Our exit ticket asks, when performing operations on more than two fractions, what are two things you must remember? And for homework, just finish up anything you haven't completed in class. Remember to check PowerSchool and assignments in Teams to make sure you are caught up on everything, because you want to be A-OK. And so just a little note I have for you is I want you to think about whether you have remembered to show me your notes this week. It's all about the notes. That's where we do the work in math class, in the notes. Our do now and our exit, we can always type a sentence or two or answer those questions in Teams, but really we need to show our work in math. So we have today's pumpkins with a little candle, and these guys are getting all ready for Halloween, and I guess they're happy pumpkins. I'm going to give one pumpkin a little bow on her head. We'll have a girl pumpkin and a boy pumpkin, I guess, today. All right, so let's go on to our lesson. All right, this was the do now that we discussed, and it says, how can we be kind? And kind is an acronym for know, every person has value and deserves kindness. I is invest in connecting or listening to others. N is notice others' perspectives and feelings. And D is demonstrate care, concern, and compassion through action. That can be really hard. I know lots of times we want things to change, we want things to be better. But until we take some action, things will often stay the same. Our exit ticket today asks, when we are performing operations on more than two fractions, what are two things you must remember? We'll talk about that. And let's go on to our lesson. Now, these are called self-checking worksheets. And what makes them different is when you put an answer in one space, that then becomes the thing that you put in the next space. So whatever we put here, we will put here, and then we'll add this 1/2 plus whatever is here, and we'll get a new number. So I'm going to erase that, get ready to do our problems. Let's choose a nice bright color to start. Now we have 3/8 plus 1/5 minus 1/4. I thought we'd need a little more room to do this problem. So the first thing we need to remember is that you can only do a couple things at a time, okay? So one thing you could do is you could do the 3/8 plus 1/5 and get that answer, and then you could subtract 1/4 and get a final answer. That's one way you could handle this problem. But another thing to remember is that you must always have, no matter what you do, a common denominator. So that's something we have to stay with, is the common denominator. So I've made multiples of 8, of 5, and of 4, because those are our three denominators. And I'm looking for the smallest number that is common to all three of those, and I see that that is 40. So our new denominator will be 40. So something over 40 plus something over 40 plus something over 40. Now, what do we do to get from 8 to 40? Well, we multiply by 5. If 8 times 5 is 40, we multiply the numerator by 5. 3 times 5 is 15. To get from 5 to 40, we multiply by 8. So we will multiply 1 times 8 for 8. And then to get from 4 to 40, we'll multiply by 10. We'll multiply 1 by 10 as well, which will give us 10. So now we have 15 plus 8. So the denominators will stay. We have our denominator. Once we find that common denominator, we're done with the denominator unless we need to simplify at the end. So we have a denominator of 40, but now we need to add these numerators, 15, the 8, and the 10. So 15 plus 8 equals 23 plus 10. Oh, I'm sorry, minus 10. I made a little mistake. That should be a minus right there. You can take it away like that. And let me put the minus sign back. Okay. So this again should be minus over here. 23 minus 10 equals 13, and that's our new denominator. So this cannot be simplified, so 13/40 is our answer. So that will go right here. But it will also, I like to box my final answer, we'll also put that here, 13/40. Now we have 1/2 minus 13/40. So let's get some room. 1/2 minus 13/40. Well, 40 is a multiple of 2, so we can keep that denominator. We need to turn the next denominator into 40ths. So 2 times 20 is 40. 1 times 20 is 20. And 20/40 minus 13/40 is 7/40. Let's go back to our page. And that's a final answer there. But that also has to go here. Now the next problem, 1/5 plus 7/40. 1/5 plus 7/40. And 40 is also a multiple of 5 because 5 times 8 is 40. So when we rewrite this problem, the second fraction will stay because we can use that denominator of 40, but we'll convert 1/5, 5 times 8 is 40, 1 times 8 is 8. So that gives us 8 plus 7 is 15/40. And 15 and 40 are both divisible by 3, or by 5 actually, by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3, 40 divided by 5 is 8. And that's a final answer. Let's move on to the next one. So now we have, going too fast, okay. We put our 3/8 here. Our next problem is 2/5 minus 3/8. I think I have enough room to do a few more problems here. 2/5 minus 3/8. So we need, let's see, we have some multiples over here that we made. We can look at this chart. And we need the smallest number that 8 and 5 are both factors of. And I see that, again, we're going to have to go with the 40ths. So, oops, that's a minus. So 5 times 8 is 40. 2 times 8 is 16. 8 times 5 is 40. 3 times 5 is 15. And this is an easy one. 40th is our denominator. 16 minus 15 is 1/40th. So let's write that answer in. And then we also need to write that answer on the next line. So this problem is a little bit challenging. We have a denominator of 40, 6, and 3. I'm going to tell you now, it's going to be a very large denominator that would also be a multiple of both 6 and 3. So let's look at 40, and the multiples of 40 are 40, 80, 120. So 80 is not a multiple of 6 or 3, but 120 is a multiple of 6 or 3. So we're going to have a very large denominator. So we'll make the denominator 120. 40 times 3 is 120. 1 times 3 is 3. We make the next denominator 120. And 6 times, well, we can do this. 120 divided by 6 is 20. 6 times 2 is 12. 0 times 6 is 0. So 1 times 20 is 20. And then, again, if we were to divide 120 by 3, it would be 40. So 1 times 40 is 40. Now, we add that all together. 40 plus 20 is 60, plus 3 is 63, 120ths. And I think we could divide, I know we could divide both of those numbers by 3. 63 divided by 3 is 21. 120 divided by 3 is 40, and that's a final answer. That was a heavy hitter for you guys. So 21 over 40. Now, 21 over 40 minus 1/4. I think we have room to do this one. 40 is a multiple of 4. So 21 over 40 minus 4 times 10 is 40. 1 times 10 is 10. And denominator is 40. 21 minus 10 is 11. So 11/40ths, which we will also put right here. Now, 5 is a factor of 40. So 3/5, let's convert it to 40ths. So 5 times 8 is 40. 3 times 8 is 24. So that would be 24/40ths plus 11/40ths, which equals 35. Oh, this is addition, right? Which equals 35/40ths. And 35 and 40 are both divisible by 5. So our numerator will be 35 divided by 5, 7, and 40 divided by 5, 8. And that's our final simplified answer, which will go right here. Now, 7/8 minus 1/10. We're going to need more room for that. And that's number 8. Okay, 7/8 minus 1/10. And factors of 10, 10, 20, 30, 40. Bingo, 40 is also a multiple of 8. So 8 times 5 is 40. 7 times 5 is 35. Minus 10 times 4 is 40. 1 times 4 is 4. The new denominator of 40, 35 minus 4 is 31/40, and that is a final simplified answer. Okay, let's do the next one. Let's do 9 and 10. So 31/40, we'll go right here. And I think we're going to need more paper for that as well. So we'll go here. This is number 9. So we have 31/40 minus 1/20 minus 1/10. We need to make all of the denominators 40. So we'll have our 31/40 because 40 is also a multiple of 20 and 10. So if 20 times 2 is 40, well, what's 1 times 2? Well, that's 2. And 10 times 4 is 40, and 1 times 4 is 4. So 31 minus 2 is 29. 29 minus 1 is 28. So that would be 28/40. And let me make sure I did that right. 29. Oh, I subtracted 1 instead of 4. 29 minus 4 is 25. And 25 and 40 are both divisible by 5, which would give us 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 40 divided by 5 is 8. That's the final answer there. Let's put that on our paper. 5/8. And that would also go here. Now, we're not done until we check this. So this is 16 is a multiple of 8, so it would be 3/16 plus, and we'll multiply 8 and 5 times 2. So 8 times 2 is 16, 5 times 2 is 10, and indeed 3 plus 10 is 13/16. So the answer checks. So that's our first self-checking worksheet. So now we have one with a little bit harder. And let's get ready to do that now. So we have 1/2 and 1/10 minus 1/10. And we need to convert 2 to tenths, so that would be 2 times 5 is 10, 1 times 5 is 5. 5/10 minus 1/10 equals 4/10. And we divide the top and the bottom by 2 to give us 2/5. So 2/5 plus 1/4. Let's change our color. So least common multiple of 5 and a 4 are 20. So we're going to turn those into 20ths. So 5 times 4 is 20. 2 times 4 is 8. 4 times 5 equals 20, and 1 times 5 equals 5. So 8 plus 5 is 13, and that's a final answer, 13/20. and which we will put here. So we also know that 20 is a multiple of 10, so that will suit us as our denominator. 13/20 plus 10 times 2 is 20, 1 times 2 is 2. And we are adding those up, and that will give us 15/20. And if we divide both of those by 5, we will end up with 3/4. Moving on to the next one, we have a denominator of 5 and 10. And we need to put our 3/4 here. So we need a multiple of 10, 5, 10, and 4. Let's go to a new piece of paper for this. 1/5 minus 1/10 plus 3/4. That's problem number 4. So multiples of 10 are 10, 20, and that's a multiple of 5 and 4 as well. So 1/5, 5 times 4 is 20, becomes 4/20. 1/10 becomes 2/20, and 3/4 becomes 4 times 5 is 20, 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, our denominator will be 20ths. 4 minus 2 is 2, and 4 minus 2 is 2, and 2 plus 15 is 17/20, and that cannot be reduced any further. And we'll put that here. Okay, look at this. 20, 16, 10, 1/2. Let's see. Let's write this on another page. We're going to need a lot of room for this. This is number 5. 17/20 plus 1/16 minus 9/10 plus 1/2. We need a denominator. 20, 40, I'm doing multiples of 20, 60, 80. Let's do multiples of 16, that might be better. 16, 32, 48, 64, 80. There we go. And that's also divisible by 2. We're going to have a denominator of 80. That'll work for us. So 20 times 4 is 80. And 17 times 4 is 68. 7, 14, 21, 28, 4, 68/40. Okay, minus or plus 1/16. So we need 80ths. So 16 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1 times 5 is 5. Minus 10 times 8 is 80. 9 times 8 is 72. Plus our 1/2, which will be, so 2 times 40 is 80. 1 times 40 is 40. So now we need to add up. Let's do all of the addition ones first. We will add 68 and 5 and 40. So 68 plus 5 plus 40, 13, 7, 113 minus 72. 3 minus 2 is 1. And 11 minus 7 is 4. So that would be 41/80ths, which cannot be reduced any further. That's a final answer. Okay, 5 more and we're done. So let's put our 41/80ths here, minus 7/20ths plus 3/80ths. So let's convert the 20 to 80ths. So 20 times 4 is 80, 7 times 4 is 28. So 41 minus 28 plus 3. So 41 plus 3 is 44. And 44 minus 28 is 16. And we can reduce that 16/80ths because it's divisible by 16. We know 16 is a factor of 80. 16 goes into itself 1 time, and it goes into 80 5 times. So that would equal 1/5, which we will put there. Now we have 1/2, 1/5, 1/15, and 1/30, and 30th will be our new denominator. So 1/15 is the same as 2/30. 1/5, well, 5 times 6 is 30, and 1 times 6 is 6, and 2 times 15 is 30, and 1 times 15 is 15, or 1 times 15 is 15. So let's add that all up. 15/30, 6/30, 2/30, and 1/30. So 15 plus 6 is 21, and 2 more is 23. This makes 24/30, which we can easily reduce because both of these are divisible by 6, which will give us 4/5. That's our final answer there. So 4/5 goes here, and 4/5 is 5 is a factor of 15. 15 is a multiple of fifths. So 5 times 3 is 15. 4 times 3 is 12. So 12/15 minus 8/15 is 4/15. And we'll put that here. And now we have 4/15 minus 1/10 plus 5/8. And I think our denominator will be multiples of 15. 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, so I think the way I want to handle this is I want to do the 4/15 minus 1/10 first. I'm going to start at the beginning. 4/15 minus 1/10, and I'll make this a denominator of 30. and multiply each thing here by 2. So this is 8. Multiply everything here by 3. This is 3. 8/30 minus 3/30 will be 5/30. Now, we can simplify this to 1/6. Now, let's finish the problem. Now we have 1/6 plus 5/8. So we're doing the rest of the problem now. And here, our denominator will be 24. So 6 times 4 is 24. 1 times 4 is 4. 8 times 3 is 24. And 5 times 3 is 15. So that would give us 15 plus 4, 19 24ths. And that's the final answer. And you see, this was easier to do the first two, get the answer. Then when we got that answer, we did the second two. Our final answer was 19 24ths, which will go here. And I think we need to convert everything to 24ths because all of these numbers are factors of 24. So if we make this 24, 24 divided by 3 is 8. 2 times 8 is 16. We make this a 24. 24 divided by 4 is 6, and 6 times 3 is 18. So now we have 1/24, 1 plus 19 minus 16 plus 18. These are the numerators. So 1 plus 19 is 20, minus 16 is 4, and 4 plus 18 is 22. So we have 22 over 24. Now you may think that's not the right answer, but if we divide the top and the bottom by 2, we get 11/12, and our entire page checks. So that was hard work, and that was a good job. Go back and answer the exit slip, and remember you need those common denominators, and you can only do maybe 2 problems at a time if you have too many. So work on that now. Here's your exit ticket. And keep working hard, and I know as you do, you'll be a star student.